Hi friend, thanks for tuning into this video. My name is Lisa. This is an evening stretch and relax class, so this is a great practice to do at the end of a long day to unwind and find a sense of calm. You will need 2 blocks for class today, so go ahead and gather what you need and let's get started. So coming onto the mat, find a nice seated position with the knees bent, soles of the feet on the mat. And then come down onto your back. Have your blocks handy right beside you here. Feet are about hip distance apart. And then open the knees out nice and wide. Bring the soles of the feet together. So setting up for a reclined butterfly. It might be nice to take blocks underneath your knees here for a little bit of support. So just take the blocks underneath the knees and find a nice comfortable position with your arms. You could cactus them, rest them on your belly, extend them down by your sides, whatever is feeling good for you right now. And let's take a moment here in our reclined butterfly just to tune into ourselves, get comfortable on our mat and in our space. Start to bring your awareness into your breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. There's no need to change anything about your natural breath pattern. Just observing the sensations of breathing. Maybe you start to notice the belly rise as you inhale, and sensing it fall as you exhale. Let's take 2 more breaths here, just really relaxing into this position. And take your hands to the outside of your thighs, and then use the hands to help you close the legs, bring the knees back in towards each other. Feet are flat on the mat. And just shift the blocks off to the side so they're out of your way. And bring the knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. Give yourself a little hug here. And just start to gently sway or rock from side to side, massaging out through the low back area. Find some stillness in the center. Interlace your fingers around your right shin. Release the left foot down to the floor. Squeeze that right knee in towards your chest and then extend the left leg long down the mat. Any amount that feels nice for you here. And start to make circles with your right ankle. So just move the foot in whatever direction is calling to you first. And pause the circles, go in the opposite direction. And pause the circles again. Release your hands from the right shin, interlace them around the back of the right thigh. Rebend into that knee and flex your foot, so toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. As you inhale, start to reach the right foot up towards the ceiling. So no need to fully extend the leg here. And as you exhale, rebend into that knee. So bring the heel back towards your glute. And let's move with the breath as we do this. So inhale to extend the leg. And exhale to rebend. Move slow here. Inhale to extend. And exhale, rebend. One more. Feel free to move with your own breath. And exhale, rebend. When your knee is bent, pause again. And place the left foot onto the floor. Left knee is bent. Release your hands from the right thigh. Take the right ankle, place it on top of the left thigh. Feel free to stay here in this figure 4 position if this feels good for you. Maybe using that right hand to just gently press that right knee forward. Or interlace your hands behind the left thigh. Bring the left knee in towards your chest for a nice reclined pigeon stretch. Start to release your left foot back down towards the floor. Keep the right leg as is. And then twist the legs over to the left. So think about the sole of your right foot coming down towards the floor. And then cactus through your right arm. Use the left fingertips to just gently press that top knee forward. A little bit of a hip stretch for the right hip. On your next inhale, bring the knees through center and release the right foot back to the mat. Let's switch sides. Hug the left knee into your chest, wrapping the hands around your left shin. Start to extend the right leg along down the mat. And make circles with your left ankle. Pause, go in the other direction. Pause again. Release the hands from the shin. Interlace them around the back of your left thigh. Bend the knee, flex the foot. Take an inhale, left foot reaches up towards the ceiling. And exhale to rebend. Move with your breath. Inhale, extend. And exhale, bend. 2 more breaths just like this. Move at your own pace. Just looking to find some nice sensation through the back of the left thigh. 1 more breath. And once that left knee is bent, pause. Rebend into your right knee. Release your hands from the left leg and take the left ankle onto the right thigh. Either staying in figure 4 or interlacing your fingers behind the right thigh. Right knee comes in towards the chest. Reclined pigeon. Release the right foot back down towards the floor. Keep the legs as is. And then twist your legs to the right, thinking about left sole of the foot coming towards the floor. Cactus left arm, right fingertips just gently pressing that top knee forward. On your next inhale, bring the knees through center. Release the left foot. And then reach an arm towards the back of your mat, whichever arm. And roll over onto that side of the body. So find a nice little fetal position here. Let the head rest on your bottom arm. And when you're ready, press into that planted hand and bring yourself up to a seat facing the front of your mat. Grab your blocks and just place them back at the top of the mat so we have them handy for later in class. Crossing at the ankles, roll over the shins, come into a tabletop position. So shoulders are over the wrists, hips are over the knees, back toes can be tucked or untucked. Take an inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin, lift the tailbone, cow. Exhale, press the back of the heart up, tuck chin, tuck tailbone, cat. Inhale to cow, drop the belly. And exhale, cat. 3 more breaths just like this. Move at your own pace. And add in any other movements that are calling to you. So sometimes some hip circles or shoulder circles might feel nice. So just explore here, moving intuitively. See what feels good for you. One more breath, just like this. And on your next inhale, come back to that neutral spine position. Take your right fingertips behind your right ear, so your elbows pointing straight out to the side. Take an inhale, reach the elbow up towards the ceiling, finding a little twist here. And then exhale, thread your right hand underneath your left armpit. Reach towards the left side of your room. Keep the shoulder lifted for now. Inhale, elbow up, twist. And exhale, thread and reach to the left. Inhale, elbow up. And exhale, thread and reach. This time, reach as far as you can and then start to release the right shoulder down towards the floor. The side of the head can rest on the floor. And finding a nice back of the shoulder stretch here. So think about breathing into the right shoulder blade. Feel free to keep your left hand where it is, or maybe wrapping it behind the back for a little extra stretch on that left shoulder. Replant your left hand on the mat. If it's not already there, press down through the hand, lift the head, lift the chest, unthread your arm, plant the right hand on the mat. Find that tabletop position again. Send the bum back towards your heels and come into a kneeling position. Go ahead and reach the right arm forward with the palm facing up, and then turn the fingertips down. You can keep a little tiny bend in that right elbow. Take your left hand and just gently grab onto your right pinky. Very gently, think about just guiding the pinky towards your forearm. Now switch, move to your ring finger, gently, gently, gently pulling it back towards the forearm. Your middle finger, and then your pointer finger, your thumb, and gently release. Let's do the other hand. Left arm forward, palm up, fingertips down. Right hand grabs the pinky, very gently guiding it towards the forearm. Of course, it's not going to touch. And then ring finger, middle finger, pointer, and then the thumb. Beautiful. Crawl your way back into that tabletop position. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Take the left fingertips behind the left ear. Take an inhale, left elbow up towards the ceiling. Exhale, thread the left arm under right armpit, reach. Inhale, elbow up. Exhale, thread and reach. Inhale, elbow up. Exhale, thread and reach. One more inhale, elbow up. Exhale, reach as far as you can, and then release the left shoulder down to the mat. The side of the head comes down. Breathing into the left shoulder blade, and maybe wrapping that right arm behind the back for a little extra on the front of the right shoulder. Breathe here. One more breath. Plant the right hand, press down, lift the head, lift the chest, and thread your left arm, come back to tabletop. Send the bum back towards the heels, and then shift the hips over to one side, bring the legs forward, come into an extended leg position on the mat. So sitting nice and tall here, think about the crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling. Bend your right knee, place the right foot on the floor, and then knock that knee over. Think about your left leg and pivot it over to the left. So think about maybe 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. on a clock, and then take the right sole of the foot to the left inner thigh. Take your left hand, glide it down the inside of the left leg, Open your chest towards the right side of your room. Reach a little bit further down that left leg, and then bring your right arm up and over the head for revolved head to knee stretch. So really thinking about that bottom rib cage, your left rib cage, coming forward here. Nice open chest. And choose a gaze that feels good on your neck. Just really focusing on this side body stretch. Beautiful. Lift the torso, plant the right hand somewhere behind your right hip. We'll sweep the left arm up and overhead, and at the same time, we'll pick up the hips. Think about pressing the hips forward here, gently squeezing your bum. Exhale, lower back down. Slide that left hand down your left leg. Reach the right arm up and over, revolved head to knee. Inhale here. Exhale, lift the torso. Plant the right hand. Swoop and lift the hips. Lower down. Let's do that one more time. Find that revolved head to knee. Stretch, reach with the right fingertips. Lift the torso, plant the right hand, swoop and lift the hips. Exhale to lower. Beautiful. Take an inhale, reach the arms up. And then plant the right hand behind your right hip again, but this time we'll take the left hand to the right knee. Inhale here for length, so reaching the crown of the head up. And exhale, twisting our chest to the right. And you choose your gaze, maybe gazing right or gazing over that right shoulder, whatever feels good on your neck. Slowly release and face forward. Let's release the position of the legs, extend them long down the mat. And we'll switch sides, so bend the left knee, knock it over. Right foot comes out to about 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Left sole of the foot, right inner thigh. Sliding that right arm down the inner edge of the right leg. Open the chest towards the left side of the room. Maybe think about the space where the ceiling and the wall meet. And then left arm comes up and over, reaching for the toes. They don't have to touch. Big side body stretch on the left. Lift the torso, plant the left hand behind your left hip. Sweep the right arm up and overhead. Lift the hips. Squeezing the bum, press the hips forward. Lower down. Beautiful. Let's do that 2 more times. Find that revolved head to knee. Open the chest. Big side body stretch. And then lift the torso, plant the left hand. Sweep the right arm up. Lift the hips. Lower back down. 1 more time. Slide right arm down the right leg. Left arm up and over. Plant the left hand. Swoop. Lift the hips. And exhale, lower. Reach the arms up. Take that left hand back behind your left hip. Right hand, left knee. Inhale for length. Crown of the head reaches up. And exhale, twist left. Slowly release, face forward. Beautiful. Cross at the ankles, roll over the shins, come into a tabletop. And we'll come right onto our belly right away. So however you'd like to get there is just perfect. Take the elbows underneath the shoulders. Legs are extended long down the mat, tops of the feet are pressing into the mat here. Think about the front hip points, gently pressing down into the floor. Gentle tone of the bum. Heart reaches forward. And ever so slightly pressing the back of the head back. Sphinx pose. Take the elbows out wide, start to melt the chest down. Tend to the left fingertips just outside of your left shoulder. Right arm extends straight out to the right. So hand and shoulder are roughly in line. Start to roll onto the side of the right hip. Looking for a nice chest stretch here. Allow the side of the head to relax down and choose any leg position that feels comfortable for you. So maybe the legs are extended like mine. You could bend the knees for fetal position type legs, or you can take that top left leg and just tap the ball of the foot behind your bottom right leg. Breathe here. If you need a little bit more of an intense stretch on that chest, you can bend the elbow. Two more breaths here. Gently make your way back onto your belly. Take the elbows back underneath the shoulders into that Sphinx position. Walk your left fingertips a little bit more far forward. Pause here for a moment. Think about your right knee. Bend it out to the side. So a half frog position. Our right knee is roughly in line with our right hip, and our right ankle and right knee are roughly in line. Beautiful. Take your right hand, thread it underneath your left armpit. So similar to what we did earlier in class, walk it out as far as you can until you can release the side of the right shoulder down to the mat. Use your left hand as a pillow for your head. So half frog position with the legs and a back of the shoulder stretch, or thread the needle with the upper body. We'll spend about 10 breaths here in this position. Take a moment here just to take a scan of the body. Notice if there's any tension somewhere that you could release. Maybe you're squeezing the right bum cheek. Maybe you're clenching the jaw. And just find somewhere to soften. Start to press down through that left forearm. Lift your head. Unthread your right arm. Bring it back to Sphinx arms. Re-extend through your right leg. Beautiful. Open the elbows wide. Melt the chest down. Tent the right fingertips outside your right shoulder. Left arm extends straight out to the left. Start to roll onto your left hip. Find that pec stretch for the left side of the chest. Relax the head down. And get nice and comfy with your legs. One more breath. Gently make your way back onto your belly, elbows underneath the shoulders. Think about your left knee and bend it out to the side. Find that half frog position with the left leg. Right fingertips walk forward, threading the left arm underneath the right armpit. Walk those fingers out and then release the side of the shoulder down. Maybe using that right hand as a pillow, or feel free to get creative with your blocks here. It might be nice under the head. And 10 more breaths in this position. And just noticing if there's any differences in the sensations on this side of the body compared to the right side of the body. Start to press down through the right forearm, lift the head, lift the chest, thread your left arm. Come back to Sphinx. Re-extend through that left leg. Great. Melt the chest down, elbows out wide. Take the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck your toes, and then make your way into a tabletop. Great. From this position, just bring the side of your left hip down to the floor. So think about a mermaid sitting on a rock here. Our hips are just off to the left and our legs are bent over to the right. Let's take our left knee and point it towards the top of our mat. So our left knee and our left hip are roughly in line, and the left shin is parallel with the top edge of our mat. Take your right knee in line with your right hip, and your right shin parallel with the right edge of your mat. Take your right hand onto your right hip. Just take a look down. You'll see that the right hip is a little bit behind the left hip. So let's think about pressing that right hip forward so we can bring them into alignment here or bring them into parallel. And then take an inhale here. Think about lengthening the crown of the head up. And then exhale. Let's start to fold forward over that front left leg, coming into deer pose here. You can rest on the forearms, or again, get creative with your blocks if you would like. Maybe taking a block underneath the head, resting the forehead. Let's take 5 more breaths, really focusing on the breath itself. Slowly start to lift the torso, come back to that starting position, neutral spine. Great. All right, swing the right leg forward, take it to the right edge of your mat, take the left foot to the left edge of your mat, and take the hands behind you, lean back, and just windshield wiper the knees. So drop them over to the right, and then the left. Let's go back to the right. One more time to the left. Beautiful. Bring them up through center. Sit up straight, and then swing the legs over to the left. So let's find that mermaid seat on the left side. Beautiful. All right, take your right knee, point it towards the top of your mat. Right shin parallel with the top edge of your mat, left shin parallel with the left edge of your mat, and knees are roughly in line with the hips. Left hand comes onto the hip. Press that hip forward so the hips are parallel. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, starting to fold over the right leg, maybe coming onto the forearms, or using a block to allow the head to rest down. Two more breaths. Lift your head, start to rise back up to that starting position. Beautiful. Swing that left leg forward, come into a comfortable seat for a moment. So we'll come on to our back for the remainder of class. We're going to use our blocks. So just have one block on each side of your mat, roughly about halfway down the mat, around where your hips will be. And then bend the knees, soles of the feet onto the mat. Come on to your back. Make sure that you can reach your blocks here. Feet are about hip distance apart here. Walk the heels a little bit closer towards your bum. We're going to set up in a supported bridge with our blocks. So if you have these heavy cork or wood blocks like I do, These are pretty good to just use once. You can use it either on the lowest setting or on the second setting, which is that long skinny edge. If you have foam blocks, I would recommend stacking them one on top of the other on the lowest setting, because usually they're a lot thinner than these blocks and they're not very sturdy in this level 2 position. Okay, so have one of your blocks in one of your hands, heels towards the glutes, press down through the heels, pick up the hips, and then send one block underneath your tailbone, set the tailbone back down. Good. Take a moment here, just feel into the shape. Does this feel nice for you? Would you like the hips to be a little bit higher? If so, ground down through the heels, pick up the hips. I'm going to shift my block onto level 2. That's the long skinny edge, and then set the hips back down. So take a moment here, get up in and get comfortable in a nice sturdy position with your blocks. And once you are settled, start to extend the left leg long down the mat, keeping the foot on the mat. Extend it any amount that feels comfortable for you. Looking for some nice sensation through the front of the left hip. Feel free to stay here if you'd like to change the shape a little bit. Feel a little bit of a different sensation. You can bring the right knee in towards the chest. Take your right hand maybe onto the knee or the back of the thigh. And we'll spend a few breaths here in this shape. If your right foot is in the air, go ahead and release it back down towards the floor. Rebend into your left knee. Take a moment here in the supported bridge. And then let's take it to the other side. Extend the right leg long down the mat. Any amount. Make it feel good for you. Sending the breath into that right hip flexor, the front of the right hip. And when you're ready, start to bring that left knee in towards the chest, changing the shape just a little bit. Release the left foot back down to the floor. Rebend into that right knee. Make sure the feet are hip distance. Bring the heels a little bit closer towards your bum. Ground down through the heels. Pick up the hips. Move your block or blocks off to one side. Keep the hips up. And then slowly lower down the spine inch by inch. So upper back first, middle back, and let the bum be the last thing that lowers. Bring your ankles and your knees together in this position. If you don't have one block on each side already, go ahead and set them up like that. Shift the hips over to the right about 1/2 inch or so. Cross the right leg over the left, and then drop the knees over to the left. We have a block on this side, so it might be nice to rest the knees on your block. You don't have to, but it just might feel nice. Cactus through your right arm, and either gaze over the right shoulder or gaze up towards the ceiling. Whatever feels nice for you here. And let's spend some time in this supine twist. Start to bring the knees up through center and cross the right leg, straighten out through the hips. Shift the hips half an inch to the left. Left leg crosses over right. Knees drop to the right. Maybe use your block or not. You choose. Cactus left arm, either gazing left or gazing up. Bring the knees back up through center, uncross left leg, straighten out through the hips. Beautiful. Grab onto your blocks and just gently make your way up to a seat for a moment. We're going to set up for our final Shavasana, and it might be nice to take a Shavasana with our blocks underneath our knees. So just take the blocks where you think your knees will be. Keep the knees bent, come back onto your back. And then just move your body to adjust the blocks to be underneath your knees. Let the feet flop open. Take the arms down by your sides. Make them nice and wide here. You can take a straight leg Shavasana if you prefer, or if there's any type of Shavasana, feel free to take it. And let's take a few moments here in stillness with our quiet mind, just letting this practice seep in. Feel free to stay in this position for as long as you would like. This is where I will leave you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you, friend.